Hatid sa inyo ng Department of Tourism, SSS, Social Security System, Hinebra San Miguel, ang bida naka-Hinebra. Canon, you only have one life. Seize it with Canon.
History baka mo! Bagong pasalam ba ang hanap nyo? Walang dapat ikatakot dito sa Maynila.
Samahan niyo kaming libutin ang lungsod ng Maynila.
Noong nakaraang buwan, ginulantang ang buong mundo ng isang insidente. Mapa telebisyon, radyo at maging pahayagan, iisa ang paksa. Agosto 23 ng kasalukuyang taon nang mangyari ang hostage taking sa Quirino Grandstand. 8 Hong Kong tourists ang binawian ng buhay sa naturang engkwentro.
Pinaiiwas na ng gobyerno ng
Naging mainit ang mga mata ng lahat ng turista sa Kalakhang, Maynila. Lahat ay pawang nag-isip na delikado na sa nasabing lungsod. The city of Manila, the capital of the Philippines, home of a diverse tourist attractions. Tourism is vital to Manila, with over 1 million tourists visiting annually. The city has been one of the most premier tourist destination in the country. Kaya naman ipapasyal namin kayo sa beautiful and safer na lungsod ng Maynila. Interesado ka bang balikan ang Old Manila? Check out Carlos Celdran's walking tour in Intramuros. Kaya naman ito ang ginawa naming mga trippers. Fort Santiago ang meeting point namin. Dito kami nagkita-kita kasabay ang iba pang kasama sa tour.
Today's tour will require just a little bit of concentration, like being in school. Because today's tour will be more of a theatrical tour than a physical one. And we're not going to go on a very long walk at all. We're only going to go from here to the front of Fort Santiago, then across the moat, and then back again, and then onto a horse-drawn carriage at Manila Cathedral, and around Intramuros to the San Agustin Church, to the Garden of Father Blanco, to the crypts of the San Agustin, to the Grand Hall of the San Agustin, and then finally, the Plaza San Luis across the street from that as we embark on a journey through Philippine history for people with no attention span. Because you're going to learn as we go in this tour that Philippine culture be a collection of many other countries' cultures that we've taken, turned on its head, and that's how it became Philippine culture.
After ng orientation, nagsimula na ang aming tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, please walk this way.
Una kaming dinala ni Carlos sa harap ng wall ng Fort Santiago kung saan niya isinalaysay ang ilan sa mga mahalagang bagay sa ating nakaraan.
Okay, so where were we? We were in the year 1571. And 1571 was the year that a conquistador named Miguel Lopez de Legazpi would arrive right here on the shores of Manila Bay. And Miguel would find right where you are all standing today a settlement of 10,000 Muslims. Because we all know Manila was Islamic before turning Catholic in the 16th century. And specifically the presence of Islam, which is why the King of Spain freaked out. Because if you know your Spanish history, you'd realize that they had just finished fighting the Moros, the Moors, over the Alhambra at Granada with Isabel la Católica. And then the Spanish go halfway around the world to the Philippines, and we got Moros here too. And we proved the world was round. And if you look at this map of Intramuros, you will notice that the walls of the city are very thin and are very different from the walls you see today. Because the original city of Intramuros was not made out of stone. Intramuros was completely made out of bamboo. So ladies and gentlemen, come follow me to the threshold of Fort Santiago, and I'll introduce you all to our national hero, Jose Rizal. Now, So, Jose Mercado Rizal is a Chinese-Filipino from the province of Calamba, Laguna, who studied in the Ateneo de Manila University and Heidelberg University in Germany. He became a national hero because he wrote 2 books. The first book being No Limitang Here, or in English, Don't Touch Me. And the second book being El Filibusterismo, or in English, The Filibuster, that annoying guy in Congress. And those are 2 books written in novel form, like Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. So that book would chronicle the abuses of the Fars and the apathy of the King of Spain, the Filipino social conditions, the way that the Filipinos able to realize what's really going on. And that is why we rose up against Spain in the end of the 19th century. So naturally, the authorities found those 2 books to be a pain. And they got to serve Rizal, they put him in jail, held him at a trial, found him guilty for treason. And on December 30, 1896, we walked Jose Rizal out of Intramuros. Tulun at the park next door where bang bang! They shot him in the head for writing the 2 books. But as we all know, on May 1 of that year, things did not turn out the way that we were expecting. Because May 1 was the day that a man named Admiral Dewey of the United States Navy would sail into Manila Bay, and the American colonial period would begin. So ladies and gentlemen, follow me into the American colonial period!
Pinasok na rin namin ang Fort Santiago. Dito pinaliwanag sa amin ni Carlos ang ilang mahalagang bagay tungkol sa lugar na ito. From Fort Santiago, kinailangan pa naming sumakay ng kalesa papunta sa aming susunod na destinasyon. San Agustin Church was one of 4 Philippine churches constructed during the Spanish colonial period to be designated as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, under the classification Baroque Churches of the Philippines. Sa San Agustin Church naman ipinaliwanag sa amin ni Carlos ang naging papel ng mga Amerikano sa kulturang Pilipino.
Ang ano pa, fantastic sa kanya, isang tao lang siya. Pero lahat...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the San Agustin Church, the oldest stone church in the Philippines. There are other older churches, but this is the oldest one that's made out of stone. And I'm sure you're all exhausted from that long journey, so kids, consider this as your recess. So at this point, please feel free to go to the bathroom over there next to the security guard, buy yourself a drink at the canteen, play in the courtyard, and kodak yourselves to death, wander about the convent, or enjoy a chocolate. Have a complimentary chocolate! Chocolate peanut candies! Have a chocolate and make yourselves at home and wait for the school bell for class to begin again. Where were we once again, ladies and gentlemen? We were in the year 1898. Thank you very much.